Okay, we're gonna make ratatouille in this video without the eggplant because I didn't grow eggplant this year in the garden, and also I don't really like eggplant. So I know ratatouille has eggplant usually, but I'm not gonna use it. Of course, if you are gonna use it, you know, cut it up and salt it, soak it in salt water. That'll help it not be so disgusting. So I have the gray squash and yellow squash that I grew. Everything's from the garden. So, you know, we're going to use squash, little tiny peppers. They're not getting very big this year. These brandywine tomatoes are my favorite. I have basil, thyme, oregano, and a little bit of rosemary, fresh. This is a, can you see it? This is a pasta sauce that I already made and pulled out of the freezer from the garden, everything from the garden too. And I'm just going to use this marinara sauce and put it in my cast iron skillet. So I have this skillet here. I use cast iron for pretty much everything because I love it. It's so easy. Here, I'll show you here. I'm going to, well, my sauce is a little bit frozen still. Let me kind of break it up. So we get all the good stuff. I froze it because I have probably about a gallon of pasta sauce. I had so many tomatoes. Eventually I'll do a video on pasta sauce too. And I mean, of course you can use any sauce. Or, you know, a can of crushed tomatoes with sauteed onions and garlic and some herbs and spices, and then, you know, use that in the pan instead of a pasta sauce. So I'm going to just pour some sauce in here, and I want it to kind of cover the bottom enough, you know, but not be too much. I'm going to put a little bit more. I would say, what is that, like, I can't tell, a half inch or so on the bottom. Okay. It's good even frozen. So I'm going to stick this on the stove and let it, bring it to a simmer. And let it simmer the entire time I'm chopping. So I'll stick this in the fridge. Use it for later. So basically I just want my sauce to cook down a little bit. So we'll start with that. And then I'll start chopping. Get my knife. And I'm going to do, try to do even size slices, you know, with my squash and my zucchini. I'm not sure about you, but there comes a point in the season where you just have no idea what to do with all the squashes and zucchinis that are in the garden, and ratatouille is one of my favorite snacks and side dishes. You could even make this and stick it over a pasta if you wanted a full meal, you know, do like a breaded chicken breast or something, and then stick the ratatouille and pasta and cheese, make it a whole thing. But it's just nice to have in the fridge. For when you need it. And you know me, I save all my ends and stuff. They'll go in my bag in the freezer for bone broth later. So my sauce already has, you know, a lot of onion and garlic and all that good stuff in it. So I'm not going to layer onions. in here. I'm just going to layer the zucchinis, tomato, and what little bit of bell pepper I have. And it is really pretty if you have different colored bell peppers. You know, the red and the orange and stuff. I do not right now. I really like making this too because my go-to is just, you know, the zucchini with olive oil and salt and pepper on the skillet, and that's one of my favorite things to eat, but you know, you can only eat that so often. Or fried zucchini, oh my gosh. Fried is amazing. With a nice sauce. Maybe I'll do a video on fried zucchini when my next ones are ready. I just went out and picked this one. This one's like the perfect size, you know. But this one plant keeps giving me so many zucchini. Oh, I have an ant. What are you doing? No. Ah, gross. So this plant has, oh my gosh, probably 5 more on it that are going to be ready in a couple days. How fast they grow. Oh, I forgot to preheat the oven. So, we're going to do 375. Get it nice and hot in there. My sauce is simmering. Just stir it a little bit. And I might take a break, you know, from after I chop all this, just to let my sauce simmer a little bit longer, because this, it was frozen, you know, so it's a little bit watery, and I want it to be pretty thick. So, but not too thick. Oh, these Brandywine tomatoes are the best. I miss such knives. This little flimsy knife. It's so sharp. Okay, I'm gonna eat that. That's for me. And I'm gonna make my tomato slices a little bit thicker. They tend to, you know, disintegrate in the oven. I could just eat these tomatoes all day. I'm saving that for me. Look at how beautiful that color is. Ugh, I love them. Well, since I'm slow, I might not have to take a break. Maybe my sauce will be done by the time I'm done chopping, since I am slow at everything. So I would like to hear what kinds of stories you would like me to tell, you know, while I do these cooking videos, because I think that I have things to say, and then it comes time to cook, and my brain just kind of shuts off, and I don't remember what I had to talk about. So if you have ideas for me, I would be very open to hearing them. So, sorry, I had something in my eye. So this is a really pretty spread, isn't it? Doing some pepper rings. They're so tiny. We'll see how that works out for us when we layer. Yeah, so this is a vegan dish, although I am very against eating that way all the time, it is what it is. It's a vegan dish. So now we're gonna make the sauce, the other sauce. So let's see, I have my little measuring cup. Can you see it? I'm trying to squeeze everything on this little cutting board here. I'm gonna get a couple cloves of garlic, if I can get them out. There. Oh, there we go. My oven's ready. I am not. Alright, so using my measuring cup. It can be just in a bowl or whatever, but that's what I'm going to use. This is a pretty big clove of garlic. I might just do one. Since, well, I don't know. We'll do two. I love garlic, but like I said, my sauce is pretty heavy on the garlic and onions already. So let me get my eye going again. Okay, I think I got my eye situation handled. Sorry about that. So I'm going to chop up these garlic cloves. We'll see if I end up using both. I'm still not sure. But our sauce is basically just olive oil, salt, pepper. I'm going to throw this garlic in there, garlic powder, and some herbs. And that's going to be what we pour over the top of the vegetables once we layer them in there nice and pretty. And I mean, you can make ratatouille, you can chunk them, you know, and just throw them in the sauce, or there's so many different variations and ways to do it. I just like to make things pretty all the time. Why not surround yourself with beauty as much as possible, right? So I just do a nice little spiraling layer of it. Oh, I missed. I need to figure out a better system to get my you know, whole counter in the shot. I need a videographer, someone to hold the camera or something so that you can see more of what's going on. But I mean, like, this isn't that exciting, so. And you know, I commend you on being patient with me and taking the journey with these videos. Like I said, I would love to have stories to tell, you know, while I do this, but I can't think of anything to talk about ever. So, you know, just send in a comment what you'd like to hear about. Hold on. Okay, I'm going to show you my sauce that's been simmering on the stove. And about how perfect it is right now. So it's, you know, getting kind of thick. I don't want it too thick because it's going to bubble up over all the veggies in the oven. This is perfect. So I'm gonna turn it off, shut off the heat. Put this back here and make some sauce. Let's see if I can get you. There we go. There. Okay, so I've got my garlic in my little thing here, And we're going to do thyme leaves. And I think I'm crazy, but on some of the herbs, like cilantro especially, I do save the stems, and I'll put those in the freezer too for my bone broth. Not so much with the thyme and things like rosemary. More, you know, I'll save the basil stems, just because these get, they're bitter, you know. So I'm gonna also put some rosemary in here, and I'm not really chopping it. I'm just kind of, you know, crushing it as I go, releasing some of the oils that way. I don't really want a fine chop. I mean, you can. There's nothing wrong with it. Just not how I want it. I also have some oregano. I am going to give that just a little chop. Take the leaves off. That's fine. I just used the tops, so there's not much stem happening here. It's that weird part of the season where my herbs are just now starting to come back around again. So we're on our second round of my herbs just popping up. So there's little tiny bits of this beautiful green happening. So when you do your herbs, like use the rosemary, I just kind of release the oils, and the oregano I just did one chop through. You want to try to not chop it that much. Lose the flavor. So we're gonna do some olive oil. This is my extra virgin olive oil that I just keep in a handy little squeeze bottle because I use it all the time. And about that much. What is that? Quarter cup. Let's make it a quarter cup, just so we can call it a measurement. Some salt. I'm gonna put, I don't know, teaspoon probably. Let's see. Yeah, about a teaspoon of salt. And it might seem like a lot of salt, but it's, you know, tomatoes in it, so you want to really balance those out, because the acid in the tomatoes just eat up that salt. Put some pepper, and this pepper grinder is cheapo, awful. Don't look at the brand, I guess. I'm not gonna, whatever. But I need to put more on top because it's just not that great of a grinder. I'll put a different one. Eventually I'll get a real pepper grinder again. I'm just gonna throw a little bit of garlic powder in it. You know, you could put so many things in here, like crushed red pepper if you want a little spice. I already have a lot of peppers from the garden in my marinara sauce that I made, so it's pretty spicy already. I'm gonna skip that. But you know, you could put, oh gosh, cayenne or whatever. Get kind of creative with what you put in here. So I'm going to sort of move this stuff over so that we have a nice shot of my pan here. Move the pan over. Here we go. Can we see it? A little bit. There we go. Okay, so I have my sauce, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to start just layering stuff. And you know, it's probably gonna, I don't have that much pepper, So what I'm going to do is every other one kind of like that. I don't know. We'll see what happens, right? Might run out of some stuff. We might not. I don't know. Either way, it can't be bad. It's all good food, good ingredients. And what do we need here? Tomato. I'm excited for this. Pepper. It's a big tomato. Pepper. I can probably squeeze this in there, huh? Yeah. Perfect. Alright. So then for the middle, I'm just going to kind of layer it in there too. These are such big slices of tomatoes that I have here. My eye is burning. I don't know what I did to it. Looks like we're gonna have a little left over that's not gonna quite fit. Let's just squeeze some stuff in here. Why not? We'll do some squeezing. Yeah, we're gonna make it all fit. Doesn't have to be that perfect, I guess. Put this guy. Oh, I'm so close. Okay, I think we are good with that. Let's stick this guy here. Throw some of these peppers pieces. Okay, so next what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my basil leaves and I'm going to save some of these for after, yeah. But I am going to just kind of tuck the basils in. I love basil. Can't have enough basil. You'll notice that I think there's 3 different kinds of the basil that I have right here that I just picked out. I think I counted this year 12 types of basil in the garden. So I'm not lacking in the basil department. But only 3 of them are good for, you know, the pasta sauces and things like that. Have that sort of flavor. One of my favorites is this lime basil that I have been growing for years, and I'm saving the seeds and stuff, and although it, you know, the uses are, I'm still trying to figure out what I can do with it. It's just this bright, vibrant smell. It's amazing. One year I did make a bunch of soap with it, and it was just this heavenly scent. soap. I do use it in a lot of kind of Thai dishes, I guess, like pork and rice. I'll put the lime. I'll put the lime basil in there with things like cilantro and also Thai basil, which is my favorite. So it's good in that. This is a lot of basil. Good, good, good. Put another one here. Just, oh, nope, there's one there. Okay, I think I'm basiled. Alright, so we'll save these for topping. And then I'm going to take my sauce, give it one more step before the sauce. So I have dried oregano here. And I'm going to just take dried oregano and can you see? So, and I'm just going to, massage it a little as I sprinkle it on just to release the oils for the dried oregano. Because love the dried oregano. And, I could just throw this in my olive oil sauce, but I like to sprinkle it on like this. Anything hands-on is my style. Okay, so now I have my olive oil sauce that I need. Give that another stir. And we're going to drizzle it on top. Of course, all this stuff gets stuck in the bottom. Make sure it's even, kind of on there. Yeah. Might have to get a scraper. Or my hand. I'll use a scraper. Okay, so this is ready to go in the oven, and I'm gonna cover it with foil for the first 30 minutes or so, because you want to get it all that sauce to boil up over it, and you want your veggies to be nice and soft. So that's what we're gonna do. Cover it. You throw it in the oven. Isn't that beautiful though? It's beautiful. Alright, so it's going to go in. I'm going to set the timer for 30 minutes. Throw it in the oven. And we'll check it. And again, the oven is set at 375. So I will see you in 30 minutes. Okay, so I actually kept it in here for 45 minutes covered. I'm going to take it out so you can see it. Uncover it, and then I'm going to stick it back in for another 15 to 20 minutes. So it's going back in. Take a look at it though. Okay, so I ended up putting it in for 20 more minutes, and it is almost done. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to get my basil ready for the top, and I love purple basil. It's just so pretty. I'm going to add some green too, just because when the one that I put in there, when they cook, they turn kind of brownish purple, so we want it to be nice and beautiful and vibrant. Gosh, I just love the smell of basil. Oh, I need to make a pesto. Do a video on that too. I have so many videos I want to do. So many things to not talk about. Okay, so that's probably good. I'll use that for something else. And I'm just gonna give these a nice chop through. You know, I don't want to bruise them too much. There, I missed a couple leaves. Alright, perfect. I could probably use more, I don't know. Alright, so I'm going to take this ratatouille out of the oven. Oh my gosh, it's so pretty. Alright, there's our ratatouille. And I'm gonna let it cool a little bit for a few minutes. Just, it'll kind of, you know, the juices will get absorbed and it'll be quite lovely. So we'll be back in about 5-10 minutes. Okay, so our ratatouille is basically done. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to top it with that fresh basil that I chopped. Yeah. And some pepper, because I can never get enough pepper out of this thing. And it is done. It's good. Warm, cold, whatever. It's delicious. Let's get a nice shot. And there's our ratatouille. Enjoy!